Arbitrum and Optimism. Two protocol layers control 80% of all Ethereum Layer 2 total value locked. Ethereum's leading Layer 2 protocols, Arbitrum and Optimism, surged in popularity in 2022. Combined, Arbitrum and Optimism account for 4/5 of all value locked across Ethereum's Layer 2s. On January 12th, these two protocols surpassed Ethereum's daily transactions, showcasing their scaling potential. Optimism alone processed 800,000 transactions that day. Layer 2 refers to off-blockchain scaling solutions that batch, roll up, or otherwise enhance transaction throughput. Layer 2s use separate protocols from the main blockchain to process transactions faster or cheaper. Eventually, all Layer 2 processed transactions settle in batches onto the regular Layer 1 blockchain. Arbitrum Botch's major release seeds growth to Optimism. One of the primary selling points of a Layer 2 is cheaper transaction fees. According to Dune Analytics, Optimism's transaction fees have historically remained lower than Ethereum's base blockchain. However, Arbitrum's cost savings recently jumped sharply near the end of August 2022 and outcompeted Optimism. Since then, Arbitrum has maintained its low-cost lead. However, Arbitrum has struggled to regain credibility after its botched launch of a service called Odyssey. According to DApp Radar, Arbitrum had $1.2 billion in total value locked on August 29, 2022. One day later, its total value locked plummeted to $125 million and has never materially recovered. Many attribute that precipitous drop to Arbitrum's unsustainable incentives prior to the launch of Odyssey, which handed out NFTs as rewards for activity on its platform. That initial use case was questionable, as users had little financial incentive to remain after they were paid out. Arbitrum later paused Odyssey entirely. Developers then migrated the main Arbitrum 1 platform to Nitro, a separate upgrade that promised better throughput, lower fees, and better compatibility than Odyssey with Ethereum's base layer. Optimism tries the slow and steady approach. Meanwhile, Optimum's total value locked grew steadily throughout 2022. DApp Radar reports that Optimism has about $650 million total value locked today. Similar to Arbitrum's Odyssey NFT, Optimism launched OP Airdrop 1 alongside its Optimism collection, an attempt at a more democratic governance of its ecosystem. It also launched an incentive program for developers interested in building on its platform. For what it's worth, OP Airdrop 1 didn't coincide with as dramatic a drop in total value locked as Arbitrum's Odyssey launch. In contrast to Arbitrum, synthetic asset creation protocol, Synthetics, became one of the first applications to commit to building on Optimism. The number of transactions on Synthetics has steadily increased since that commitment, with most occurring on the Optimism platform. However, average dollar-denominated trading volumes have halved since their peak 6 months ago. In August 2022, researchers at Delphi Digital speculated that Synthetics version 3 could build on other Layer 2 platforms, especially for atomic swap functionality. Synthetics didn't directly mention Layer 2 platforms in its documentation for Synthetics version 3. It only said that developers were going to rebuild the platform from the ground up to account for newer DeFi standards, not entirely closing the door on the possibility that it might build on other platforms like Arbitrum. In summary, Arbitrum and Optimism saw surges in their use in 2022. Despite a general decline in DeFi apps' total value locked, Arbitrum didn't completely collapse and made it through a botched Odyssey release, while Optimism continues to steadily gain total value locked. These two protocols account for the vast majority of all liquidity backing Ethereum's second layer scaling solutions. For more informed news, follow us on Twitter and Google News, or listen to our investigative podcast, Innovated Blockchain City.